It is freaking cold out here, man. The hard charger is a US patented Picatinny mounted side charging handle system that mounts to a specified section on your Picatinny rail of any standard forged flat top AR-15 type rifle, replacing the existing charging handle, turning your rifle into a side charger. This hard charger will make it easier to operate your rifle using gross motor skills. It is interchangeable. It removes stress on roll pin and release lever. It reduces torque on the charging handle. It's easily installed and field strippable. It allows for multiple ways to charge the rifle, and it's made of 7075 aluminum stainless steel impact resistant polycarbonate and weighs less than 5 ounces.
Howdy guys, Rex here. 3 words for you. Gross motor skills. There are times when it is handy to have something that's a little easier to get to for charging a weapon, okay? This side charger, this is called the hard charger from Devil Dog Concepts. They're like what I would refer to as bright-eyed and bushy-tailed individuals. I like those guys. You can tell by the name Devil Dog what they used to do, right, for their job. But they've come up with kind of a cool deal. This has been around for a while. I think this is more well known in private circuits like SWAT teams and departments and different outfits like that have been running these for a while now. So they've got a lot of testing in. This side charging handle deal, tell you what, I kind of always wanted one for scoped rifles. When you're wearing like mittens or gloves or a variety of other things, they can make it a little bit difficult to grasp the traditional dog ears charging handle deal. Or if you're shooting one-handed or sometimes left-handed position, sometimes getting to that charging handle is a little goofy. Having something for gross motor skills like this is handy for a lot of applications. This one, I ended up trying out because I never wanted to modify my weapon beyond being able to switch it back. And this is, you can put this on in like a minute. So you have one screw to attach it here, okay? This is where you attach it. And then you have the rest of the unit here. And I can swap this on my rifles without modifying this weapon. I take this off, the weapon is back to normal. Another deal too is you have a variety of new options for charging a weapon, right? So you got your charger here. So if you're shooting left-handed, right, you can reach over AK style and cock it like this, right? Or you can reach over with your whatever hand here and charge it like that. Gives you a lot of different options. If you're a SWAT guy, you can, if you're carrying something, you can cock it off your shield or maybe a window or a doorway. And I'm not saying that's always tactically sound, but there's times when that might be necessary. If you lose like your dexterity in a hand due to an injury, something like that, you can just charge it off your arm, off your gear, like off your leg or whatever, right? It's like one-handed, you can charge this. That's difficult to do with the traditional stock charging handle that are on these. So having a handle on this on the left side is pretty slick for a variety of different reasons. One thing I was concerned about, another reason I never went with a dedicated side charging type AR is manual of arms. Manual of arms, man, that's you spend, especially for those that spend a lot of hours with these types of rifles, it's hard to switch over totally. And I was worried that, hey man, like what if I revert back to that? Well, the cool thing with this is the way it's set up and designed, I can still just grab charging handle here and slingshot it, or I can do this kind of business, right? With the other hand, not so much if you're going to do that at the left hand, you got this, right? But you can totally grab that charger and operate it, like a grunt would do it, like you've been trained in basic or whatever, right? Pretty easy. You still have freedom of movement with that bolt. There's not as much binding or anything like that like I envisioned there could be. It's actually really well made. This deal is mostly aluminum, and you can see it there. We have a few different components. It's easy to take down still too, so you can still do your standard takedown. It's not like radically different. I can show you here real quick. Okay, so we're gonna pop open our pins like normal. Gonna crack it open like normal. I'm gonna just pull that back. Here's my bolt, right? Here's my charging handle, and this deal has the side charger attached to it. So you have a traditional style charging handle still. Here's your little release lever, okay? And we have the side charger rod here, okay? And we're gonna set that here. And then on this side, I don't know if you can see that, we have this, okay? This is your actual charging rod. And that just slides in here like so, okay? And so everything still operates like normal. And then this part here, they have a few different sizing options. Like I was concerned how weird it would be to hook up with the scope mount in the way, because I like to use different kinds of scope mounts, right? And if I want to swap it back and forth between different rifles, I thought, man, it would be pretty cool to have it, more modular. So they have different configurations. This one, you can mount to where it all comes out right in front of the rear sight, but still behind the scope. So that was the one I used. I think this is the tactical configuration or whatever. I'll show you the box here. They have another one that goes all the way to the rear, and they have another one that goes all the way to the front. So that no matter what kind of stuff you have hooked on up here, you can get this beside there. So you have at least 3 different mounting options. Additionally, if you don't like the little handle that comes on there, okay, these are simply threaded on. So yeah, unthread that. This one is called, I think this is the tactical handle. Okay, it's not super big, but it's similar to like my FAL, right? A little bit. So I kind of remember doing that. So you just take that off. And the way this is built, this threads in here like this. This stays self-aligned inside here. So there's no danger of this just twisting off real easy because your leverage is axial on this rod here. You know what I mean? So it's like totally, if you reef on it like this, it's not going to unscrew because you have to take it out and then it threads in this way. So that's kind of handy, right? So to put it back together, we put that deal back in there like so. Real simple, man. Got the charging handle here. We just put that in. And we got this deal like this. And just slip her together. Lock it down. And still charge it here. Can charge it here. If you have a failure to fire in some of your immediate action drills, you're going to want to tap and rack, right? And so you're going to tap it, and then you're going to rack it, okay? If your face is still on the weapon, if you're like tied up on here, right? If you're laying prone or something, this handle actually is going to come back, obviously, when you're charging it, right? So your manual of arms is going to be a little different than on a FAL, which does not have a charging handle in the back here. The FAL is all internal, right? So you got to be mindful of that. So when you're charging it, don't be too tight up on here. But if you got your stock adjusted like normal, and you got normal eye relief, you can totally cock it, no problem like that, okay? You can do this. You can stand on this. It's built pretty tough. If you can balance that well, put it on the ground and stand on it. It's not going to bend it out of whack. A few things I tried over the review here is I wear this a lot with my sling, right? My 2-point sling. And if you sling this across your back, I was concerned about like if you have it across your back like this way, right? If this handle sometimes can dig into your back, right? Well, I already have an optic on here. So actually the handle with the optic, it kind of evens out the contact area and makes the whole rifle rather than this knob digging into a gut. It actually sort of protects the optic from this deal getting reefed on too much. But it's not as bad as I thought. Plus they have a lower profile. They have a subdued version of this handle, which is one that's really nice for like if you're going to actually carry your rifle a lot. It still gives you plenty to grab on, but it's way smaller than this one, okay? And they have some extra large options for like competition and special competition that are really large grabbing handles, okay? So like if you want to do fancy ninja type moves and grab on that real easy, that's pretty slick. So like that's not a bad deal, having a variety of options. I would recommend too, like they do have the singular hard charger deal, but having the kit makes it nice because then you have this body, you have 3 of this body here, okay? And you can mount that on 3 different kinds of configurations of rifles if you want to be more modular and use this between your different rifles. Then you simply switch out this rod and the charging handle and you're ready to go, right? And yeah, you can leave this on here and then put your normal charger back on here too and run that with the skeleton of this deal on here if you're not using it, right? But if you want that ability, you just pull out, the charging handle, the side for the hard charger, and your rod here with the handle, and you swap it out like real quick and easy, right? So having the kit's nice, and plus you don't know exactly how you're going to reconfigure stuff when you develop a new muscle memory and manual of arms with the addition of this handle. So that's pretty slick. Where I see the use being actually pretty cool on this kind of deal here is a lot of times when you're in the prone, right? Or if you're on a bipod or whatever, if you're doing like what I do a lot, which is a lot of precision shooting with an AR, getting behind here can be a little, when you're trying to stay on target, right? Like I can stay on target. Okay, there I am, right there. And I can charge it, and I don't lose sight. Sorry about it's really bright outside with the snow. But I don't lose sight of like target down there. So I can charge it and get back, and I can do my tap, can do my rack, and I'm still kind of got eyes on over there. So that's kind of a nice feature, I guess, right? So for that application, plus obviously some optics, if you have larger scope on your AR, a lot of guys have the extended handles back here, right? This really solves that problem because now you really have an easy to get to option with an optic mounted. And you're not modifying the rifle, really. I mean, you're just attaching this little accessory on here. And if you don't like it, then you just get out your little screw, unscrew it, and take it off. One screw. Take it off in like a few seconds, right? So that's kind of slick, right? Having the ability to just like, okay, I'm not married to this deal, but it is an option. And it's always good to have extra tools at your disposal for different deals, and it depends on what you're doing. Would I, recommend this or not? I don't know. It depends on what you're doing. It's something, if you want to try it, you can definitely try it out because I don't know what your use is. All I know is what I do. And for what I do, I think it's pretty cool, I have this set up right now on my Sig. And one of the reasons I put it on this particular rifle is because, there's a few different reasons. The controls on the Sig are already a little bit non-standard. So that'll cue me. So like when I grab this, I can immediately feel this ambidextrous safety, and I can feel this different style safety lever here too. And with the grip and everything, I know, all right, this is not like one of my normal working rifles. This is the Sig with the fancy controls on it. And that'll cue me, and then I can marry that, those connections, kinesthetics, to the new charging handle over here, right, in my brain. So, but again, like I said, if you do revert back to your caveman instinct to go ahead and grab it like normal, you can look, it's easy. I doing it with gloves or whatever. It's not hard, right? So it still works. You still have enough of a lever here to grab on right here. Just grab it and do it. I mean, not hard at all. I think that one of the big things that helped make this run really slick, how does it run? Of course, you do have, if you look into the mechanics, right, you do have a little more stuff to move because now you have not only the charging handle, the mass of that, and the friction, but you have this deal here, this rod here. And you could potentially get stuff in there, although I buried it in snow. Didn't care. Like when you pull it back, it clears it out and then it works fine, right? But having this lubricated helps. So you do add a couple lube points if you're using it for that, just, for your information. A little bit of grease right here where this actual handle is rubbing on this track seems to help. And I used actually that Modern Spartan Systems accuracy oil on here on the charging handle as well too to slick that up, to slipperify that. And that helps a lot. Like, I think that's always a good idea. Of course, you would normally lube your charger anyways, right? Is it like solving all of life's problems? Will you die if you don't have this? I don't know. If you need to charge it with one hand, maybe, right? It's a nice feature to have for a lot of different things. I think that's why the SWAT guys like it. Would like this be good for patrolling, long range patrolling, with the added complexity and stuff? I don't know. It depends on your use. Like, that's up to you. But the nice thing is, again, it's affordable. You put it on here. If it's not working for that, well, then take it off, right? So you're not married to it, and you're not like permanently altering your rifle. You're not like machining stuff on it. So this is made for a standard AR action. I don't know if those fancy billet, those fancy cut billet receivers, if that would fit properly. This has a really nice fit, your standard contour uppers, right? And so basically it sits up here in the front, right here. It just kind of sits there. There's a contact point. And then in the back here, there's 2 points of contact, here and here. And this is just kind of, there's like I don't know if you see the shape of it there. That's how it's interfacing with the front there. And it's surprisingly solid. Like, it's pretty good. Like, it's working, right? And so another thing too, man, it's cold during my testing right now. And cold weather will freeze grease. It'll turn it's not quite cold enough to turn it into like Loctite. There's an old saying that the old Army guys have is like, hey, like, your grease on your weapon will turn into Loctite when it gets really cold. But it's cold enough to definitely change the lubricative dynamics of the lubrication on here, and it's operating fine. Maybe it's because I'm using that real slick accuracy oil stuff. I'll leave a link to all this stuff below for you, and even the optic here. I'll just leave a link to everything, the mount and the optic, so if you want to see exactly how this is configured and the sights or whatever, that'll be there down below as well for you to help you out a little bit. And of course, man, if you ever like the channel, using the links does support the channel. Rex is capitalism mode, man. So use the link, get a better deal for yourself, and then also support the channel. But I'll save you from having to scour the earth for it, right? And then you don't have to subscribe to other stuff. You can just get your doodads and also help me, right? But it's pretty slick, man. Like, you can pretty much... I was getting bound up. The optic was digging into the wood frame here. So this little primary arm, this is the PLX, the Platinum, the new lightweight Platinum. They're tough. I was like digging into the wood when I was messing with this yesterday, like standing on it. I was doing some quick moves trying to charge it, and I'd miss and I'd hit my heavy duty wood table or my metal that I was trying to charge off of, and it was hitting a scope. It's fine. It's still like exactly right on. And it's real slick. I don't know if you guys can watch the review on that deal, on the Platinum here. But these are like my favorite LPVO right now that I can find on the market. And even at like $1,500, which is a fair price, it's exhibiting quality that should cost a lot more than that. Like, and I've seen the stuff that's $3,500. Again, like, if you look at where it's made and who made it, same deal, except a little bit better. I'm telling you, it's a competitive market out there. Lots of cool stuff. I wanted to share that with you. I'll be, doing continuous reports on this to let you know if something else happens or if I learn something else. Say, oh man, it didn't work for this, or it's really handy for this. I'm going to run this on this rifle for quite a while, I think. So now they're not married yet, and it's never really truly married because you can always take it off. Terrible analogy. Sorry, guys. But I'm going to keep this deal on this rifle, and so I'll just kind of keep track of how it's doing and stuff like that for you guys if you're curious. But I'll leave the links below. Might be a handy deal. I mean, if you know anyone who has one of these deals, leave your comments below. Leave your experience below if you have one of these, if you think it's cool or what else. I mean, also, too, I know, I'm just doing a summary right now here, right? But I know there's so many other applications of where a guy would use something like this, okay? There's a lot of reasons, like NATO chose with the G3 and the HK91 and like the FAL to have a side charger, you know what I mean? So if you've got a lot more experience on that kind of manual of arms, share below some techniques or whatever the guys would use with the left-hand side charging handle, right? And also, again, you still have your conventional operation. So it just gives you more options, basically. So leave your comments below on what else that's good for. And I'll learn from you guys too. And I thought I'd check this out and share it with you. All right, you guys stay warm and keep it real. Also, subscribe to Patreon, man. Always forget about that deal. We talk about all kinds of fun stuff over there. I'll catch you on the flip side. This one's mine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.